as well. It's actually going to be the first pick coming in, as Lemon Dogs are on the blue side to start.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about junglers with early kill potential. Elise is the epitome of a jungler with early kill potential. The CC that she brings, as soon as she hits level 3, she has all of her abilities. She can execute you. She can get over walls. She's very, very, very agile.
And it was Dexter to get the first blood against SKT to go into that top lane for a lane gank. So I'll have to see with that aggression if he decides to throw it out on the Elise. But could be going to Zoro. We'll have to see. Probably not. Corki, again, being very highly contested, and it was really word of mouth by everybody coming into this tournament.
I mean, with the buffs to Trinity Force, people have been looking at what champions can I use this item on. Corki is pretty much the premier champion to use that item on. He's extremely strong early, and going Trinity Force, he hits that power spike even earlier. As soon as he finishes it, he is a beast.
Especially if you're hitting it at 13 minutes, like Wild Turtle had the advantage in his TSM game. So we'll have to see. That was Thresh picked up as well to go with Corki. We've seen that combination come out very strong in the lane, but the Vayne Zyra as well. Feels like Tabs wants to be able to carry this game for his team if necessary.
Yeah, Tabs is definitely a strong Vayne player, and she has the ability to duel people towards the later stages of the game once she does get that Blade of the Ruined King. Like Monte Cristo pointed out, not very many Vaynes will split push, but she's definitely one of the AD carries that can. She doesn't have great wave clearing, so it takes her a while to get those items. And then once she becomes a strong duelist, send her off into a side lane. Happy to put farm on her.
I remember that game that Doublelift did it, and everybody's like, why'd he build Frozen Mallet? We don't get it. But he knew, and so did the team. But yeah, we'll see if they try to go for that split push strategy. We do know Gaming Gear likes to go a little bit harder in the early part of the game, so that won't affect the split push as it happens later. So Lemon Dogs may be able to work around that.
Yeah, and Lemon Dogs, after playing SKT1, it seems like they are taking a little of that SKT1 flavor here. One thing that I really noticed about SKT1 is they, in their games, they focused a lot on the early game dueling potential. Like Lee Sin is amazing early game. Elise also. Those two have pretty much the best early game executes. And then like we said already as well, Vayne, one of the strongest duelists for AD carries. Lemon Dogs here going a very similar style as they're mousing over some more assassins.
And we have to, we've talked about it, the casters and the analysts coming into here, that this tournament revolves around a lot of the fact that mid laners are the power of a lot of these teams.
Yeah.
And assassins in 3 and 11, that just helps them out even more.
So that's a good point. In the last game, Lemon Dogs, they used Swain as their mid laner. That's not only is that uncharacteristic for Nukeduck himself because he loves assassins, but also, it definitely really didn't pay off there. So being on Ahri, he's going to be much more at home. Definitely more his playstyle.
So we see the Zac being picked up as well, which is probably going to be going to Zoro Zero in that top lane. He's been known to put it out. Zac has been actually shied away from due to the whole Bloblet change, but we'll see if he can really put up a big fight with it.
Those
probably
things
won't be
fly
against
off
that
everywhere
Renekton.
now. It's hard to keep control of them.
He can go against Renekton in the top lane, but they'll probably see the switch up.
So he basically starts a Doran shield, tries to sustain either 1v1 or 1v2. The thing with the last game as well, they also went back to their Malphite for him before in the top lane, and as D-Man pointed out, that was something he started the EU split with, but he was 1 and 3 on Malphite in the EU split, so that's the only champion that Zoro Zero had actually a losing win rate on, and he'll be much more comfortable on this Zac.
And we do see the Renekton being picked up again, and actually the Fizz coming up right there. So we'll have to see what they decide to do as we get into that. All right, well, the teams are heading into the Rift. Let's take a peek at who you guys think is going to win this matchup. According to LOLesports.com, 85% of you think that Lemon Dogs are going to come out on top. And all the analysts said Lemon Dogs as well. So I think they have quite a good run coming into this one. They're bringing out not much of a composition that they did before, but GG is. They have that Renekton, they have that Jarvan. They're kind of trying to go for the same thing.
I mean, I talked a lot about Lemon Dogs here, but Gaming Gear are making some adaptations this game.
There are a few.
A couple more things. They went with the Fizz and the Corki. Last time TSM took Corki away for them. Now they feel like they're going to be the ones in the driver's seat here. And they've also added on that Fizz, very strong assassin there, instead of the Gragas for Mazarin.
All right, Kobe, let's get this one started. The players are ready. The fans are ready. Lemon Dogs versus Gaming Gear EU to go off your 4th match of the day here at Worlds. And we are on to the Rift.
All right, so we have a Fizz actually starting Doran Shield this time. So he's looking to sustain through the early stages of the lane phase, like most Fizz do, but Really, most Fizz start with the Crystalline Flask so they can regen that mana as well. It just means that he's going to have to use his abilities a little bit more sparingly, and he won't be able to use them as much to grab last hits. So he'll have to be very good with his auto attacks for landing those hits.
You just put down a mirror in the middle of the map right now because that's what both of these teams are doing, except for Tabs. He's kind of got himself in a scary position here. GG continues their move down to the bottom lane. They are going to be able to see him. I don't believe Spiro has taken anything for himself yet. He has to force the flash. That means that bottom lane is going to be a bit scarier, and they're going to have to play safe. GG still on the invade.
Now the thing is, if their duo bottom lane actually runs into a single champion and they go for 2 versus 1, then he should be able to sit on that cooldown for flash and be a little bit safer. We'll have to see where they actually end up sending this this Tabs and Mithy lane now. Because Mithy, wow, in that last game as well, he definitely impressed me. Mithy really a very strong support here.
The early laning phase kind of just threw himself right into the AD support lane and really got a good amount of damage down. We'll have to see if he takes the same role here. Zyra, that disengage support. We'll have to see if the fact of going in and disengage with Zyra hurts that bottom lane.
And actually, it is worth pointing out that in the last game where Lemon Dogs sort of caught SKT in their own jungle, the dual lane burned their flashes there too, and they still got first blood.
Yeah, it's because Vi didn't. So I think SKT thought they were playing safer. Lemon Dogs just trying to get the mind games out as soon as possible. This time, it doesn't seem like they had that scouting they did before. We're going for pretty much the orthodox start on both sides. A good amount of wards, and it was a 6-item inventory for those supports. So they got filled, or 5 rather, inventory, as it would be in this game. Filled up, so we have the wards. They're holding on to the Explorers, though, because they want those wards to last in the jungle for safety in lane.
And since Jarvan has started his red buff, he's going to end his route after getting double buffs down on the bottom side of the map. So he could easily rotate down here and try and take advantage of Tab's lack of flash very early. There's no wards up in the bottom either. So Al-Lanir really right now has to make a choice. And if he goes down bottom, it's going to be dangerous here for Lemon Dogs. Well, he's not going. They do land the hook,
see what we have. This is scary for Tabs to be diving in here. The exhaust is down, but they got the damage beforehand, so they're not too afraid of the engagement now. With Tabs' flash down, LD still being very aggressive in the bottom lane.
He's got another pink ward left here as well for Thresh, so he could actually go clear out the one. They saw Mithy just put this one in the side lane bush here, looking for the Jarvan to come over. Maybe Al-Lanir actually is unaware. He's just going to go right in there onto the ward.
Hatching that pink ward right there.
Yeah.
That's all right. So only a little bit of time spent down bottom. At least he gets the head away right at the beginning of that one. 3.5 minutes in, obviously seeing that these lanes are matched up. We talked a little bit about that top lane, the Zac and the Renekton. They're going to pretty much be on an island with Al-Lanir creeping around here. He was seen, and we can see Dexter making a move actually too.
Looks like Al-Lanir trying to get some counter jungling off, but he knows he doesn't have time because Dexter's walking right through the lane, and he comes for the gank now. It's going to be tables turned on Ahri.
Keeping good eyes on everything around. A little bit of harass here, and it will be the damage from Nuke Duck to turn back on Al-Lanir. It's really not going to cause him too much trouble, but they are making sure they get the damage down that they can, and that means Mazarin went in for a bit of aggression here as we're looking at the bottom lane.
Yeah, those plays right there are the types that oh, here we go, a Cocoon onto Mazarin. Those plays are the types that we saw from Faker that Crepo was pointing out, where Ahri's not just leaving, she's getting damage on the jungler, making him pay for the time spent middle.
It's almost like assessing the car accident you're going to be in. Can I get out of this safely? And if I can I do it in a nice way? And 4.5. What?
This game is really going to have a slow beginning as they have stacked up with the 2 versus 2 lanes and the 1 versus 1 very even up there.
Man,
they're also very similar compositions with the beefy top laners, neither one running teleport, so they're just going to be smashing heads up in that top lane, whereas the mid lane has both of the assassins, and as soon as they hit that level 6, then we'll probably see some action up there.
Mithy and Tabs are playing this bottom lane great as well. Like we said, with that flash down, really avoiding that early quick Q burst of Corki in the lane, and Spyro not looking too good right here. Goes down below 100, and it's going to be the quick kill, but it actually goes over. First blood to Mithy with the 2 assists going on to those carries.
Beautiful tower dive. Elise is one of the best junglers at pulling off those tower dives because she can drop tower aggro, but she didn't even have to.
Trying on the answer. Oh, the flash and the pull-in. He gets the kill on Mazarin. Amazing play by Nuke Duck there.
That was so good from Nuke Duck, and he almost wants more. If he had a little bit more mana, he would be chasing Jarvan right now. This reminds me of something that Kreppel was actually talking about very early. He said, you know, Mazarin, although he came up with big plays at Gamescom, he looked like sort of a regular, very high ELO European mid laner. Wow, Deadly Brother taking a lot of hits here. Nukeduck just showing that he has he's on another level. There was a very beautiful flash to get the backswing of the Orb of Deception to kill.
And Lemon Dogs is completely playing together. You push out Mazarin that hard, you know the jungler's going to have to be somewhere, so you see Tabs and Mithy still being ultra aggressive in the bottom lane. Zoro doing what he does, like, you know, Kreppel said, like anybody from the EU casters would say. He's going to sit up there, make that lane his own until he become a bully.
At this point, when your bottom lane is getting kind of chunked down very low.
Right.
And they were this GG team was the first ones to have to recall. Then you have to start worrying about dragon control here, as Gaming Gear's bottom lane are going back for a second time after shoving into the turret. Tabs and Mithy feel like they have a really good handle on it.
You do overall look at how the game is flowing. 1,000 gold in the lead of Lemon Dogs, a level in that mid lane at 6-5. Mazarin still waiting to get his Chum the Waters ultimate up. And we'll have to see what his team decides to do there. With that, it does give him a pretty good zone towards Dragon, but it's just too much disengage for LD, so GG's going to have to find a different way back in this one.
And Nukeduck, after getting that first blood, has just rushed the Negatron cloak after his dual rings.
Pretty smart.
So he is not afraid of this Fizz all in right now, and he's going to try and bully Mazarin and increase that CS disadvantage.
Oh, he goes in. He just used Trickster. That's going to leave him quite open. He's forced to flash. The Orb of Deception comes back, catches him on the tail side. Almost gets hit up by Chum the Water a few times under the turret, but another kill. The focus on Mazarin, and another 5 minutes for his flash to be down.
And now he's looking to go contest this red buff. Alonir has a few more seconds, though. He's able to get it. Dexter wants to contest.
Dexter is going to be able to contest. He may have the movement here, but it was actually MBS to make the move first. Zoro still in lane, so it looks like they are going to get away nicely with that.
Yeah, that was good communication. Zoro calling out the rotation, and Dexter, having used both of his spells right there, couldn't have any more bursts left in the chamber.
So LD just trying to be aggressive, trying to be a nuisance around the map. They can't get the red, but they are going to be able to go ahead and grab up this blue. Oh, they are going to take it. Reset that, so they have the timer. They want to be able to control the bit of the advantage that they have, giving everything that they have. Now, wards in the jungle as well, quite deep behind first-tier turrets.
People always talk about how Europe is such a mid-lane focused meta right now.
Right.
Having Nukeduck get this far ahead and 2 kills already on Mazarin frees him up to be the point man for the rest of Lemon Dog's mid-game play calls here. Since they have the stronger mid laner who can force out Fizz, they're easily able to go steal away that blue buff.
We'll have to see what GG can do. Still haven't seen movement from the top laners yet. Nothing even towards Dragon, even with the amount of aggression that Lemon Dogs has shown and won on the bottom lane. So Lemon Dogs taking this very slowly here. 2,000 gold lead for him. The death sentence just missing. So you can see GG still trying to make things happen in the bottom lane. Right behind them, Alunir waiting.
This is also interesting in the mid lane here that Nukeduck, his style of mid lane is not to roam as much as a lot of other mid laners. He likes to just hoard up his money in the mid lane and continue to snowball his advantage there, and then transition it later to the mid game into split pushing. So he doesn't really gank his side lanes as much as, say, Tabs, who is on his team, who used to be a mid laner. He would more rather just continue to bully Mazarin here, and it just looks painful for this Fizz.
Oh, good damage going on to Corki. Deadly Brother forced to back off, and it's almost the way that it works for Nukeduck in the mid lane. These side lanes play so aggressive, his roam would have to be under the turret if he came. So with all of them winning, he's more than happy to sit here.
And we've already seen one tower dive from Dexter that was very, very successful.
Right.
Not even taking a lot of damage there, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another one.
We got to remember that Lemon Dogs came through as one of the most consistent teams in EU. They didn't grab at the end, but they definitely held that most consistent record.
Maybe the only consistent team. And that was after adding this Mithy here in the bottom lane. Once they got a consistent roster, then they started playing a lot smoother.
So we'll have to see a big thing here for Gaming Gear, obviously, is Mazarin in mid, but it's also to watch if Alunir, you know, is around him, is helping him a lot. Because if Alunir gets going, that means Mazarin follows behind, or he has to carry the game himself. And right now, every lane is having a hard time, so it's not quite sure to say yet who's going to be the one. Mazarin does need to get some focus from Alanir, though. He's been out of lane too much.
Ooh, hook in the box.
Or Mithy, rather, right under that. Stranglethorn goes down, but it looks like they are going to be slightly disengaging. Deadly Brother goes in. It's going to be a trade on the supports as the missile hits, but it could be Deadly Brother going down as well. Does he have the Valkyrie? He flashes over the wall, but the repel had not yet ended. Good hold by Dexter.
Yeah, good job by Dexter holding on into it until we have the flash from Corki. Able to get that one out, and that was because the mid lane lost. That Alanir couldn't be there. That's why the man advantage was for Lemon Dogs here. They had an extra person, basically, because of this mid lane bullying. Whenever you're the jungler and you're forced to go cover a lane, you know, you may get a lot of flack from the other teams because you're not ganking.
How much ganking have we seen him been doing? But no, it's lane cover.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right. You're absolutely right. We'll have to see if he can get himself back in. We saw him even having trouble getting his own red buff. His blue buff was recently stolen. We are going to see the first turret finally going down here, as we said. Be a little slower as the lanes were matched up, but that does go to Lemon Dogs at 11.5 minutes.
And the Abyssal Scepter now completed for Nukeduck. So he has not only that extra magic resistance now, but that gives him the extra magic resist reduction for the enemies. And even though he doesn't have the Deathfire Grass Burst, he'll be able to take out either of the squishier champions here for Gaming Gear. Zoro definitely in trouble now, though.
As we take stock here, we see Mazarin going to the top lane. He has 67 CS, so he's trying to make up on 30 CS here. He's 2-0 in that mid lane. He goes for Chum the Waters, throws it out. This is, I believe, not going to be a passive for Zach here. If he does have it, they're going to... No, he does have the passive, right? He has not gone down whatsoever in any gank, but do they have the time? Nibs on the backside doesn't want to take aggro from the turret, but he's about to get it. And with that, gets enough health back to make it out as Nukeduck starts his pursuit.
Dexter's coming in, and NBS is extremely low.
Oh, dear. The time it took them to do this, you know, we say if it takes more than 10 seconds, you might want to back out. They're forced to go for a flash there, but all in all, works out for him.
Ooh, very, very close there. Dexter, sometimes you can mind game the person you're chasing if you just hold on to your skill shot, CC. Cocoon, very similar to Amumu's bandage. If you just run at them, then they'll dodge back like that a lot of the times, expecting it to come out. But throwing out the max range one right there allows NBS the juke and then flash away.
Let's see what considerations are being put into this inventory. Like we were saying, 100 CS to 75 there with the Abyssal Scepter. Both have picked up the Dorans because of the potential assassination in the early part of that game, but that's not something Nukeduck is worried about anymore. You can see the aggression for Lemon. They know they're going hard now. Yeah,
this is going to be a very difficult mid-game for Gaming Gear. Like I said, they have very similar champion ideas here, and it's just that Lemon Dogs have a much stronger assassin that will be able to bully everyone when Nukeduck does go split pushing.
And this gets scary for him now. They just lost bottom consecutively, then losing middle, and it just seems like Lemon Dogs is really rotating. They didn't get too much of a fight to activate that. We just had some action in the top lane, but that means, or what that shows is that, you know, GG trying to get back into this one. It is 5-2. Bit of that 4,000, now 5,000 gold lead coming in for Lemon Dogs. It really hasn't been inched back yet by Gaming Gear.
And we may be in for a longer game than you would expect with this sort of league, because Lemon Dogs are known for being very methodical in the way that they finish off games and very careful with their play. Crepa was talking about how they have a weakness if they get behind early, you know, but they don't do that often. And when they're ahead early, they execute the game very well, and they'll just take everything on the map before going in for the finish.
And another thing we can see change from game to game is the pink wards, the green wards. You know, you see SKT and OMG and those guys play, and there's pink wards everywhere. Just a little fact that, you know, these guys pulling out the greens, not as much ward control, but it's really coming into who's going to be making the mistakes for these guys.
Yeah, so talking about ward control, we had an Oracle's picked up for Mithy, so at least he's going to be clearing out Gaming Gear's vision now, and so that just basically makes Gaming Gear play even safer than they already are. They only have one outer turret left standing. After that one goes down, this entire jungle becomes the area of Lemon Dogs.
Going very hard on this turret at 3v3 situation, and Spiro in the background getting taken down. Looks like they are going to be able to go for Deadly Brother here. It's just a matter of time microing in each other on that turret aggro. Dexter gets it. He gets away with the flash. Not too bad for Elise, though. Double kill coming in huge for Dexter there, making plays.
Yeah, there's the second tower dive that we were talking about. Great job by Dexter executing up there, and that was, again, Oracle bought by Mithy. Able to clear it out. Not much hope for Gaming Gear here.
7-2. Definitely looks like Lemon Dogs do have the lead that they were looking for in this game. They came out with quite strong picks that would allow them to do this. Like you said, that Elise on the early game was going to give them the advantage, and they used it huge. Really the way they were able to get that first kill in.
And now with her adding Sork Books onto her Spirit of the Ancient Golem, not only does she have the tenacity and the HP to be able to pull off those dives, but the penetration's so strong with Elise's kit. She really, really packs a punch. Or a bite.
Oh, I see what you did there. So we'll see the Abyssal Scepter, as you said, finished, and to follow that, the needlessly large rod. So the power to be coming out here for Nuke Duck. Still waiting to finish those tier 2s. Everybody's sitting on their tier 1s pretty much at this point. With the damage being the one to come out, Nuke Duck looking for another fight. He gets Chum the Waters. This should still be in his favor, and Mazarin realizes that halfway through. One last Spirit Rush, but the Trickster and the Flash after. The orb misses, but it's only going to be an auto attack and a whip to the face by the 9th tail.
So that's another weakness of Fizz. If you use your Playful Trickster for the area of effect damage to clear a wave, then that opens up your weakness. That's your escape, and Nuke Duck does a great job capitalizing on that. Mazarin goes down once again, and it's more damage onto this mid turret.
And again, we really haven't even seen a Cataclysm coming from Alunir, and it's not his fault. He's just had no chance to not be guarding a lane. The lane hasn't been the gank for him to come in, as we've been saying. It's been him to soak up experience, which junglers like to do, but they want to be able to participate with their team.
So it kind of reminds me of Makuza's rules of solo queue jungling. Never go gank the losing lane there. So he really did not want to make an appearance in that Fizz lane middle.
It honestly can make things worse.
Yeah, if there was a 2 versus 2 situation, they would both get greened.
So we see the Sheen coming out here. Fizz trying to get to that Lich Bane as soon as possible. Still gives him a scary amount of damage that has to be respected. We'll have to see. 12 to 11, he's still one level below. 10 to 9 in the jungle as well. Looks like all the other lanes are seemingly matched up. 8 to 2 here at 18 minutes, and now it's an 8,000 gold lead.
And you can tell how confident Lemon Dogs are. They even have their Vayne Tabs is going Bloodthirster. Something that, you know, Double Lift used towards the end there in the playoffs, but even after, he felt like he regretted it a little bit. He really loves the Blade build, but Bloodthirster, it gives you pure damage for taking down turrets.
They go right onto NBS, knowing they have that definitive power to just take one person out and be out before the team can rotate, but it's not going to be enough to take out a Renekton, especially when he's a lifeguard. Keeping everybody safe. They are going to guard the turret, but now it's Nuke Duck split pushing. They're kind of spreading GG thin when they can't afford that right now.
Like we talked about, Nuke Duck is a very scary split pusher at this point. All that you can really do is try and CS a little bit under turret. Even he is going to get tower damage here.
You can see the siege clear okay for now until that power is a full team of 5. GG able to hold with 3, but look at that damage on the turret. It's held, but it's going to go down eventually. Still moving in tabs. Just on the back line. His positioning being very good all game. You can see him letting Zoro get up to that front. He was tanking the turret, but still being the 80 carry that he needs to be for his team. Only 2 deaths coming in. That's 1 for Zoro. We saw the top lane gank for him, and we did see Mythy going down once. And that's 2 of the best people to really be going down there. The one that wants to throw himself in for the team, and the one that's going to be worth the least. So Lemon Dogs looking real good right now. Like you said, they know it, and they're using that fear to their advantage, just showing themselves in lane and pushing them out.
This is the reason why everyone talks about how when Lemon Dogs get their lead, they usually win the game, and that's why most of their practices, even if they just get an early lead, then they'll restart.
Mythy down, very low. The Cataclysm onto the already dead support, trying to go very hard on him. This gives LD time to size up the fight. They're looking at what they want, and right now it's only going to be on the outside. Tabs does get too far ahead this time. Gets to chum the waters on him, but the barrier's there. NBS and the rest of the team weren't ready to fully go in. They are, again, microing the damage in and out. Zoro low to under 100. Tabs is now 5, now 300, but they're going back into the fight. Deadly Brother low. They could be acing the team here, and Spiro gets out by himself, and Elanir wasn't even able to make it to the fight after the first engage.
Gaming Gear had just been bleeding money all over the map, so they had wanted to try and make their play. They got the kill on support at least to start that one off, and were able to turn it into another on tabs, but they still end up going down. Yeah, Zyra, great ultimate right there, delays the rest of the team, so that they're able to take out Alanir here, almost chunking him all the way down. He has to exit the fight with that Thresh Lantern, and that leaves them basically in another 4 versus 4 situation, even though they were the ones who came up with the first kill. And Zoro feels confident because he does have that passive available. Now it's just up to the rest of the DPS from Lemon Dogs. Chunking down Mazarin enables them to have the confidence to finish off Deadly Brother.
That's really one of those fights that you use your ultimate first, and you better use it right, or the other team's going to come back even harder. You got to hit them real hard the first time.
Yeah, so, I mean, Mithy did a great job, even though he was first one to go down there, got off the Stranglethorns in the perfect area to delay the rest of Gaming Gear and allow his team to clean that one up.
So a game that might have been just slipping through the hands of Gaming Gear, now definitely in the hands of Lemon Dog, but not yet over. The mistakes can still be made. The inhibitor turrets are up, and that's really the last defense here for Gaming Gear to try and funnel Lemon Dogs into that circle of right in front of the base and get the attack. You can see Alanir trying to get himself out here. Nice cheeky move, keeps himself safe.
I mean, that was the Deathfire Grass there from Ari, so at least they've got it on cooldown now.
You see the whole team. They are still leaving Nuked up by himself, so that split push will continue to come into play. You see the rest of Lemon Dogs staying together, actually going for the 1-3-1 a little bit as they start to rotate towards top lane in the end.
And Gaming Gear, at least now they do have that Trinity Force on Corki, so the hope is there. Maybe they'll be able to turn a bad tower dive around.
Might get some surprise damage out that Lemon Dogs has not been seeing. We are 5-0 in turrets. Turrets also mean map vision, so they are losing a lot of control over the jungle when these turrets go down along with the vision. 11-4, the gold lead continues to go up here at 22 minutes. Still very early into the game. This is when we should really be seeing everybody ramp up, but Lemon Dogs is hitting their peak right now.
Oh, and Lemon Dogs going for the classic EU Baron towards the end of the game. This is really where, if Gaming Gear want to take something, they have to do it now.
But Nuke Duck in a one-man army is going to hold off the team. He takes down Deadly Brother to about 100, but he is able to help with the help of Zoro to grab that kill on his Spyro. And they keep going in. Mazarin, a good attack onto Nuke Duck here. This is a lot of damage they won't have for the fight. A very good kill in the shutdown that Mazarin needed that gold. The rest of the team to follow in. Zoro, and Dexter. This team has so much ability to chase. The repel coming in, the elastic slingshot, and the chase coming in from Vayne's passive means that these guys will not be making it out alive.
Woo, Tab's going to finish that one off. They probably won't dive that Corki because he still has his gap closer. But right there, it was an early smite from Dexter, but you know, there was no hope for Alanir getting in there. Very desperate now for Gaming Gear.
Lemon Dogs slowly just kind of going through this one now. Wasn't really a game that they tried to come out with as they did scouting in their game against SKT. We saw 3 flashes burned in the beginning, and then the flash burned by Dexter to get the kill. Again, Dexter came out big in this game for his team, but they played it normal in the beginning, and they matched up the lanes. So we've seen 2 different play styles from here of Lemon Dogs really, well, not working out for them, but giving them a lead in the beginning of the game. This one they were able to hold.
Yeah, and when I said Lemon Dogs take everything on the map before they finish, I meant everything on the map. They had just cleared out the buff. They got Baron into Dragon just for that extra gold lead, just to stack it on top, fatten their wallets. And now, the blue buff, at least, will be secured here.
I don't know.
Nuke Duck really wants to steal it, but he doesn't even have vision on it.
You can't assume. You can't assume.
Oh,
wait.
Very close.
Oh, it didn't go. It was coming on the backside. He almost grabbed it.
They get a small win.
But to stand there by himself, that's not what you want the other AP mid to be doing. You cannot give him that kind of freedom. He should be at least warded, but that's not even what they can do right now. Gaming Gear looking to get a few out into their jungle, where their turrets would usually be. So they have one actually right outside their base to come out, and another one just outside the wall, making sure nothing comes over the wall at them, because we know Nuke Duck can take out one of these guys very quick.
So Gaming Gear, this whole bracket, or this whole group, is really looking very hard for them now. As after this, they're going to have to turn their sights towards SKT1 and OMG. The road is not going to get easier. So if they want to get back in this, they're going to have to make their stand at their inhibitor turrets. You have to believe, Riv. You have to believe.
Have to. Coming in, well, they need to take a few more effect of their advantages. The bottom lane had a Vayne flash down, and we only saw a few of the death sentences thrown. Like, that Thresh lane should be going in quite hard. You're against the Zyra, but once that Zyra misses the grasping root, it's kind of like the Blitz Fist being down. It's kind of a trade-off situation And Mivy and Tabs did very well for having a Vayne flash down very early.
That's actually a pretty good point. You know, Alanir actually, after the blue buff, even though there were no wards down bottom yet, he went to do his wolves first, and by the time he came down to do the Jarvan sneaky gank into that
the
bush,
lantern,
that's when the pink ward was just placed into that bush.
Still trying to get a bit of aggression, but see, that being down now allows a few taps onto the turret. Tabs taking some good damage there. Not good for him, but Deadly Brother definitely liking that. He has the blue buff. They gave it over to Corki. They need to stop these sieges, and they want those missiles to be coming out from him and that Gatling to stop the siege.
Tabs with that Bloodthirster, he's able to just heal right back up. You can see him right there calling Dexter off of the minions. Hey, I need to lifesteal off of these.
Give me back my HP. So we have a 15,000 gold lead rolling in here. The interest is starting to accrue for Lemon Dogs, and they're going to try to finalize this one. Going in very strong. They get Deadly Brother. The blue buff has been transferred. It's also going to be Alanir going down. It's the rest of the team. Mazarin running for the fountain. Looks like Lemon Dogs will be able to get this turret, and they're going to see what they can do inside the base the time they have.
Yeah, dive very predictable right there. Definitely not surprising. They're so far ahead, and they have this tanky Zac with his revive passive up. Very, very well played here from Lemon Dogs, though. They're going to get another inhibitor turret off this.
For a team that it would be crazy to dive, having a Renekton, a Fizz, a Corki, and with a Thresh on him, you don't think there'd be too much diving, but they brought the right composition to the game, and that has been how Lemon Dogs is really advancing every time. Another inhibitor. Those were 2 consecutive for themselves as they move out. Bottom lane's only at River, so we may see him back soon.
I mean, everybody was pretty confident in this game here for Lemon Dogs.
Absolutely.
But I don't know if people expected this much. This is a ginormous gold lead at 27 minutes.
Already double completed items coming out. We just had that Randuin's finished. That Phantom Dancer came in as well. I believe that Last Whisper. Wow, Tabs had some money. Also, the Shirelli is coming in. Ruby Sightstone's out for both sides, so we can see that wards are still being considered, and they need to be, but all of those wards on that side of the map right now are Lemon Dogs. GG can see inside their base.
Yeah, it's extremely rough for them. They almost have nothing left to defend here. Fizz has a Lichbane, though. The magical Lichbane for Fizz, which is, everyone talks about his huge power spike there. I mean, really, that item adds more scaling onto Fizz.
Right.
And so after you get more AP on top of that, he benefits even more, but it's so little, so late here. Lemon Dogs really look like they're just going to walk this one in. And true to form, they aren't even going to go straight for Nexus turrets. Nope. They want every single building destroyed.
There's still 3 turrets on the map, 11 in total for each team. So they got some stuff to take down here. Still going at this. We have to mention that Nuke Duck mid lane as they almost go for this turret, looking like they want an aggression of a fight, and see how sure they are. Coming in so strong. That 239 to 155 CS on Nuke Duck over Mazarin. 3 full items to 1 completed Lichbane.
There we go.
That is so much credit. Give it to him. The Spiral going down. NBS on the backside, and the fight is completely split. It's GG trying to keep themselves alive here, but I think Lemon Dogs has the base to themselves, and they will have the Nexus.
So they take the turret, bypass inhibitor. They're going to end this one off. Some nice golf claps from the crowd.
Definitely a game that went very fast in Lemon Dogs' favor. If they end this one before 33, 34, it's going to be our fastest game of the day so far. Dexter tanking up this last turret. They do have the minion wave coming in. It's going to be Lemon Dogs with a very definitive victory here over GG.eu in our 4th game of the day. 29:01 on the clock.
So they had every building destroyed and every champion dead at the end of that game.
Get your play time in. You're on stage.
Lemon Dogs completely wiped Gaming Gear that game.
Yep, surgically removing them from the map every time. Nuke Duck got so much pressure in the mid lane. Alanir lived there. That was also his lane. I don't think we saw one gank from Alanir. We saw that mid gank by him, and he actually charmed him right into the gank.
Yeah, and he went bottom one time already. The ward had just been placed, so he was foiled there. Really, stalling out the jungler and destroying the mid laner is basically the game plan for these European teams, and Lemon Dogs just crushed it there.